Destructoid.
And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast where every single week we react to the latest Nintendo news and talk about the games we are playing. Eric, we can hear you. I'm not sure if your mic is muted, but let's just get into the show now. I'm Brett Medlock, video producer and host here at Destructoid. Along with me is Mary Stowe, social media manager and host here at Destructoid. How you doing, Mary?
I'm good.
Awesome. Then we have John Friscia, indie developer and managing editor over at The Escapist. How you doing, John?
I am delighted to be here.
Sweetness. And then we have Greg Vargas, writer at PC Invasion and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. How are you, Greg?
Hey man, I'm doing good. And can I just say your mic sounds crisp today?
I hope it does. I'm kind of worried it sounds like crap, but anyway, lastly, we have Eric on the ones and twos. Thank you, Eric, for streaming the show from your supercomputer. And without further ado, let's get into it. But before that, if you want to be on the show, make sure you leave a comment down in the comments section below. Then you can be on next week's episode. We read all of the comments that are there, so be sure to do that. And lastly, for the second time now, please leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. It would really mean a lot. Or unless you give us a 1-star, then don't leave us a review. But if you're going to rate us high, please do so. Now, guys, let's talk about Nintendo and some other things happening. First thing on the docket that I personally wanted to talk about, is not Nintendo related, because Gotham Knights has been canceled on PS4 and Xbox One. And I'm curious what you guys think about that. This is something that happened to a few games last generation that were coming to PS3 and 360, and then now it's not coming. Do you think they saw what happened to Cyberpunk, and they're like, we don't want that to happen to us, so let's just go ahead and do this current gen only? John, thoughts?
Yeah, I think it might be some of that. Cyberpunk definitely left like an extremely bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Like not me, because I played it on PlayStation 5 and I was just willing to deal with it. But
Yeah.
I hear it was like an awful time at launch for people that played last gen, and so like
Yep.
I could totally see that happening again here, especially because like they didn't the trailer or I guess gameplay video, it's 13 minutes. Even that doesn't have a stable frame rate, and that's probably either running on like PS5 or like a high-end PC. If they haven't got it worked out for like their gameplay video, then I mean, like probably ain't gonna be any better on a PS4.
Yeah, was the game targeting 60 FPS from the demo? I can't remember. Greg, you would know.
I don't know actually, but
Oh, okay.
my only comment was like I remember the early, for some reason in my head, the earlier game demo looked a lot better than this to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
if it was
same. I was gonna say gameplay wise and even graphically, I think the game doesn't look like it wouldn't be able to run on PS4 and Xbox One, if I'm being honest. I know they're implementing things like ray tracing in the console version for this game, but I don't understand how they couldn't just, if they're aiming for 60 FPS, why couldn't they just slash that 60 FPS in half, get rid of the ray tracing, drop the resolution down to 900p or something, and get that running on an Xbox One? I mean, so that's a little weird to me. But I don't know. Maybe the game is just optimized strange, and maybe it just wasn't good for those older consoles.
Essentially,
I was thinking maybe it was just the safe bet to show PS4 or last gen gameplay in a presentation, so they don't have any hiccups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, certainly.
Wait, so the first time we saw the game, they didn't say what it was running on, right?
I don't think they've ever said. I could be wrong, but
and the game was
but
revealed
I think that's kind of standard though.
Yeah. Was the game revealed before like PS5 and Series X were? I can't remember.
You mean like before the consoles came out?
Yeah, like or no, like before they were even known. Like hasn't this game been known for quite a while?
No, I mean it was leaked like a year early or whatever, but no.
Okay.
I think the game was only announced. It wasn't extremely long ago. I can look it up, but
yeah, wasn't that like a really weird time too? It wasn't during any
DC
main
fandom.
event.
It was DC fandom. That's what it was. Yeah. It was the same day Suicide Squad was revealed. They both got revealed the same day, which is kind of strange.
Yeah, it's pretty hefty.
I still don't understand why this is not in the Arkham universe, since it's being done by a studio that did Arkham Origins. That's kind of strange to me. And also, I just gotta say, the game graphically, it doesn't look as good as Arkham Knight to me. Like, obviously, it's running at a higher resolution and frame rate, and that's gonna just inherently look prettier. But in terms of graphic fidelity, texture quality, Arkham Knight looks stunning compared to this. But what do you think, Greg?
I mean, it's hard for me because like I'm not really a DC fan per se, but the the thing that intrigues me most is like being able to play this co-op with people who are, and like still have a respect for superheroes and for I don't know everybody in the DC universe, but I know of its main characters, and those are the ones that are pretty much depicted in the game here. And to me, that seems fun, going around and solving missions together, crime fighting together, especially the promise of 4-player co-op. But
I think it's. Did they? I thought it was only 2-player.
I'm pretty sure it's
Right?
only 2-player co-op.
I think
thought that
4-player was sort
they're
of
hinting
leaked.
at 4-player.
4-player, yeah, it was like leak / rumored, but
Yeah.
I don't know about that, especially after they didn't make any mention of it today.
I gotta say, the structure of the game is reminding me an awful lot of Avengers, like the home base area, the attachments you're putting on your character that aren't like anything visual. It's just like weird like materials and stuff. I'm like, what exactly are they doing? This doesn't look good. I did notice that they took down. They either had like hit numbers, like whenever you hit enemies in the first demo, or levels above the head. It was one of those things that they removed. Both, and that's awful in my opinion. But the pause menus and everything, like all of that stuff that's actually on screen right now, I think it looks pretty bad. It looks very just pointless. It doesn't seem like it needs to be in the game.
Yeah, like I watched the gameplay. I was kind of on board with it because like I am a fan of like the other Batman games. And it looks like it's just going to be that experience kind of continuing. I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks like about what I expect from it. I could get on board with it. And I saw the menu and I was kind of like, what is this? It feels, I don't know. It just doesn't feel, it feels disconnected. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't look like it belongs in the game.
Exactly.
In the game's defense, it's been describing itself all along as an action RPG. And I think the fact that we have like so much reference from the Arkham games, like consciously or not, I think we're doing a lot of our comparisons like between this and like existing superhero games, like even maybe including Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So like I think it looks good. I don't know if I'll actually buy it because I never even bought the last couple Arkham games. I only played the first 2 Arkham games.
Crazy. But those were the best
like,
ones.
yeah, right. So I don't know. Like I'm still like cautiously optimistic about the game.
Yeah, I'm still optimistic.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe that's a good thing going for it though, that it really doesn't have any other superhero comparison games. I mean, if anything, the closest I would say in my mind would be like Avengers, and we all know Avengers was a pile of heaping dog doo-doo. Besides Brett loved it.
No, I did not love that game. It was very disappointing, but I did try to appreciate the elements that were actually good in it, like the first few hours, whenever it was just a normal single-player campaign. But then once it opened up, like I fear this game is going to, and it's just a co-op game where you're just like loot grinding and level grinding, and it's just pointless, then that's where I have a problem with it, and I'm kind of worried about that in this game. But they did like specify that there are like differences between like side missions and main missions. So if the side missions are like terrible, like how I said with Horizon Forbidden West, I'm not wasting my time with all this like padded nonsense anymore in games. If it's bad, I will lower the difficulty and play through the main story if I have to, because I'm done wasting my time with all of these modern games doing this shit. But yeah, I think the combat wise, it looks fun. I'd say it doesn't look mechanically as strong as the Arkham games in terms of timing and like all the enemy placement in those games. It doesn't look as complex, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It seems like there's more variety in this game, especially with all the characters having like different powers and stuff. I will say the one last thing on it is Red Hood doesn't seem normal to me. Like from what I know about Red Hood, I'm not like a super DC fan, but He usually kills people. He usually doesn't have superpowers, and he's usually a bit more grim in terms of his like talking and his writing, and that just is all the complete opposite in this game. He's like doing like jump running through the sky, and I'm like, that's just kind of weird for Red Hood. Like they could have just made him a grounded character that actually had to climb a building. Like he doesn't have to be able to fly.
They gave Batman a double jump. You're telling me Batman can double jump in the comics?
Does he have a double jump in the games? I don't remember.
Yeah, I
Does
believe
he?
in some of the early ones he does.
Probably the earlier, yeah, like in the older Batman games, and yeah,
Super Nintendo or something.
yeah, we're talking everything post Arkham right now. We're not talking about Super Nintendo Batman when things didn't matter.
But I will say though, one big turnoff though, like I said, it doesn't look as pretty, but maybe that's just in the way, like the animation seems so sluggish in combat. Like, like it looks
lot
like you're going to be
slower.
locked. Yeah, it looks like you're like locked into like those like somersaults and spins, and like if any enemy approaches you while you're mid-flight during that animation, it just seems like you're going to get knocked. And like that didn't seem fluid to me, and especially after, like I said, seeing it where it was before and then seeing it now is like, did we lose progress? What's going on here?
Dude, you can tell that in the demo he accidentally does a bunch of somersaults on accident. They just kept this playthrough because he's just doing flips for no reason, like multiple times when there's no enemies around or nothing.
That's a sign of a great game.
I do.
Excellent.
I do
can't
remember
wait.
during like
So.
the Talon boss fight. Like I think he like started charging up some strong move, but then he got hit and he had to do it again. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah,
He's doing the best he can.
exactly. But ultimately, I'm pretty dang excited for the game. Like even though I have all these criticisms, I'm craving more Batman video games because it's been a while
Yeah.
now, since
Yeah.
like 2015.
Same.
If I get like any of these upcoming DC games, it'll be this one because so far that Suicide Squad game just doesn't look fun to me like at all.
I keep forgetting it exists.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. That one looks more fun to me than or at least sounds more fun to me than this does.
Like I just
Have we
couldn't care
seen?
less
Yeah,
about
we saw gameplay.
Boomerang or like
But
another Harley Quinn thing, you know?
I'm surprised just how similar the two games are. Because at first, like Suicide Squad was supposed to be this, we're just we're just like a co-op story game. But from what they're showing us, it looks very much like a games as service type game. I know it's not, but it has that structure. And then Suicide Squad at first was like, we are a service game. And then once they realized that people see that in a negative light, they completely removed it from all the marketing and they don't talk about it anymore. So now they're just a co-op game. Is
Now
what
they're
they
a
say.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a gamer's game. Believe us. Yeah, we wouldn't lie to you.
And they're both very similar looking to me, like in terms of you're four people running around a city beating up bad guys. And like
Maybe
some
it
of you
was
can
like
fly, some of you can jump.
Who's
What?
developing that one? The Suicide Squad one?
Rocksteady.
That's the Arkham people.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
The OG
Yeah.
Arkham.
I
team,
thought
yeah.
that was I thought it was flip flopped.
Well, no, WB Montreal did
That's
Arkham
the
Origins.
Arkham Origins, yeah.
So
The
they also
Origins
did that
people are doing
franchise.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like all that DC has left is the games, because the films, I mean,
If you're
Dude,
willing to
besides Batman.
sit through 4 hours of the Snyder Cut, it's pretty decent.
I liked the Snyder Cut. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Surprisingly good, yeah.
You're sick.
It was actually a Justice League movie, not just a Batman and Superman movie.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
yeah, I mean, I'm a lot more excited for Gotham Knights because it, like Suicide Squad doesn't look like my style of game at all. It looks like it's very much just combat focused, not much story going on, and it's multiplayer focused. And I typically play my games alone in the dark at night.
There you go. And also,
Okay,
though, we
Batman.
can't forget that there is a Wonder Woman game that we have not seen, but they announced it.
Yeah. Who's doing that? Avalanche or
What?
someone?
That's
What?
the Mordor people.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I think that
What's
was
their
announced
name
at
again?
the Game Awards last December, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that
Oh yeah, Monolith is
Monolith?
doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Because that was one of the games I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
we need that? Okay.
I'm curious about it for sure.
The woman's allowed to say that. The guy's not allowed to say, I don't really think we need a Wonder Woman
I'll,
game.
I'll say it for you. Don't
I mean, there's so many
worry.
better superheroes.
Yeah.
But again,
So
once
many
again,
heroes
Have to
Because-
make
end with
everything
man.
political.
once again, because the movie was so phenomenal.
Oh
They
god.
Yeah,
leaned
right.
into the game.
What are the odds that Wonder Woman would have the best movie in the DCEU and the worst movie in the DCEU?
I liked 1984.
No,
Are you
oh my
serious?
god, it was terrible.
Yeah,
That
in
was
Greg,
like a weird, stupid way. Yes.
Okay,
that was
I
like one of the
understand when
most
you say it like
shockingly bad things I've ever seen.
that. It was
like-
terrible.
Like I think I told my parents afterward, like I was stunned that like it existed, like the quality level was so bad. Like
That's funny. You tell your
Yeah.
parent, you called them.
Yeah.
Mom, so I just watched
I've got
this
to
Wonder
tell
Woman
somebody,
movie.
Mom, Dad, let me fucking tell you.
but we have no idea what this game's gonna be as far as I know, so hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, or what platforms. It could make it to Switch. I mean, Harry Potter proved that, I mean, anything is possible. Somehow that game is coming to Switch. I can't wait to see what it looks like.
It's
Yeah.
gonna look like
Not gonna be good.
PS1's best game.
Mary, it's not going to be good. Tell me how you
Dude.
really feel.
What I didn't understand was with Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a streaming game on Switch. So I figured when I tested it out that it would still look somewhat on par with the Xbox One, PS4 versions. But somehow the streamed version of Guardians of the Galaxy on Switch looks so bad that it looks like it's running natively on the hardware. It is the blurriest, ugliest game. It must be running like PC at the lowest settings or something. But anyway, this is a Nintendo podcast where we're very positive on Nintendo.
Once
And
again,
we're
just dump
trashing
it on 'em.
everything else.
So guys, we have to talk about the top 10 highest selling Switch games of all time since 2017, March. What a weird release time. Do you guys remember those days? March
Yep.
2017, the good old days.
Could not get my hands
Golden
on a Switch. I was very sad. I had to wait 2 months to play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had to
man.
wait like 2 months
It
because
was-
I didn't have the money.
Really?
I had the game in hand, and I had no Switch to play it on.
Oh yeah, I did too. I
remember
bought the
that.
game before my Switch,
Yep.
and the game was actually outpacing the Switch. Like that was normal. The game was selling more than the hardware, which is hilarious.
At a higher than 1-to-1 attach rate.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
like we've sold 5 million copies of Zelda, but we've only sold 4 million Switches. This makes no sense. Anyway, can anybody guess what number 1 is on the Switch chart?
I'm looking at the whole list, but
Okay, wait. Then let's just go down from 10. Number 10 is Ring Fit Adventure, the most hardcore game for the hardcore gamers out there.
I believe it.
Now, this
Have
is
you,
a game
have
I
you actually
bought.
played it though?
This is a game I bought. I did it once. I said, I'm going to do this every day. And then 30 minutes later, I decided to take it back and I returned it.
Wow.
I still have the leg strap. I didn't put it in the box. So now I can play that with the soccer game on Switch Sports. Yeah. But yeah, that game, not really anything for me. What about you guys?
I would like to play it. I don't have space or like the time to even bother with it.
I go
It
through
sounds like a fun idea.
I go through phases with
decent.
it. Like it's more intense than I expected it to be. Either that or I'm just that out of shape. But like I go through phases with my Ring Fit. Like I'll pick it up, I'll be like really good, like I'll be using it on a schedule with it, and then I'll just throw it down for 2 months and do something else.
I remember I played it at what was it, EGLX for the
Oh
first
yeah, I
time.
remember that.
I never purchased it, but I got done and I handed the ring back and I was just like, what the hell? I was like, I'm sweating and I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
Didn't we do a video on it? I can't remember. I thought we did a video.
Where
Where you're like sweating hardcore afterwards.
There
I
was,
need
like,
to look those
squats
up.
That was a
stuff.
different video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different one. But yeah, like presentation wise, it actually surprised me when I played. I was like, okay, this actually looks pretty great graphically for a workout game. And I was into the whole. Oh, there's the video on screen right now. Eric found it in like 3 seconds
Love
somehow.
it.
Eric, don't show
look
me
like
that
a
stuff.
bozo.
I'm way skinnier.
Look at me.
back
Look
then.
at
Look at Greg playing.
Uh,
I don't like seeing old skinny videos of myself. Greg, your arms are even bigger now.
Shut up. Oh, I didn't even realize I had the leg strap on.
Yeah, that's not the. Never mind.
What?
That's nothing. I
Moving
was gonna say
on.
that's not the only thing you
Anyway.
had strapped on, but that is
Whoa!
just too much.
Whoa.
Now let's talk
Anyways, I
about
was just
number
gonna say
9.
that No, I was at one last thing though. I do still see a lot of people streaming, playing, and like one of the people I saw, I think it was on Instagram, had been doing it for like 140 days or something like that, like continuously
Jeez.
using it.
oh wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Dude, I remember back when Wii Fit came out, my brother actually ended up losing like 30 pounds with Wii Fit. I was
What
like,
the hell?
I was amazed. And my
He only
dog's
weighs
barking.
30 pounds.
So he
Now let's
died.
talk about
He
number
died
9.
playing this.
Millie, quit the barks. Yeah, that was never mind. Let's get to number 9. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. That's who it was. Did any of you guys play this one?
Nope.
I did.
I did
I
too.
I love the Pokeball that came with it. I was sold because of the Pokeball controller.
I
yeah.
hated this game for a while whenever it came out because it didn't let you just use a normal controller to play the game. You had to use one Joy-Con, and that was the
Mhm.
most annoying thing in the world. So I stopped playing it, and then until like last year, I played through half of it, and I was gonna beat it, and then my save got deleted by my son, so I just never beat it. And I'm just
no.
pissed because I couldn't add it to my games beat list because I always keep track of everything.
So it's as if you
But-
never played it at all.
Exactly. It's like I wasted like 20 hours of my life on nothing. What's funny to me is like this Pokemon game visually, I still think looks like the best one of them all in terms of art style and presentation in general. I think it looks great. And I was expecting like since this was the first one, like the first Pokemon game on the platform, I was like, man, the next one's gonna look even better. And then it was Sword and Shield, which I did not like that art style at all. What about you, John?
Well, then you're gonna love Violet and whatever the
Oh
other.
my god! Don't even get me started. They somehow look worse than Sword and Shield. I didn't even think that was possible. But then next up is another Pokemon game, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, with 14.65 million units sold.
Damn.
Pretty good.
That's
This is a
higher
game
than-
I
It outsold the other two already.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
higher
that's
than I
crazy.
thought it would be.
Mm.
Yeah. I thought this was a very low effort, like remake in quotes, because it was pretty much one-to-one the exact same, and there's lots of copy and paste environments, which was fine in the original. It was like an older GBA game. That's normal, but like nowadays, it just did not look great, and I played for like 45 minutes and then I never played it again.
Yeah, I got to the second gym and then stopped. And I was also spending much more time in like maybe was it past the second gym? I don't know. I got to the underground part and was having way too much fun down there. Realized I was spending all my time underground, and I was like, I clearly like only one part of this game.
Yeah. John and Greg, you didn't play this, so I'll just skip to the next one. Super Mario Party at 17.7 million units. I don't like
Kinda
Mario Party. I
surprising.
only liked the first two, and then it was just rinse and repeat, and I didn't like it anymore. What about you guys?
This one wasn't my favorite Mario Party, but I think is it the new one? What's the other one that just came out? I always get them flip flopped. It's
What was that? Superstar? Is that what it
Superstar.
was?
Yeah, Superstar is the more recent one. I like that one a lot more.
Yeah,
than I
that
do
one looked a
Super
lot
Mario.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Heard that one's great. But I
now
think
this
the
next
last
one
Surprising,
is
like did you say what was it? 17 million?
Yeah.
17 million.
almost closer to 18.
And then we take a 5 million, an over 5 million jump to 23.5 million for Super Mario Odyssey. It's really impressive. And a very great game. I gave it a 10 out of 10 back when it came out, and nowadays, is it a 10? I'm not really sure. It's amazing. It's
Say
maybe
so.
a 9.5. But yeah, I super love this game.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played it ever since though, so I'm wondering if I jump back into it, if I'd be like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it was. I just remember every single time I entered a new world, I felt like a kid in a candy shop. Like it was just like this magical experience that I was just being able to go explore around a big, fully open world that we haven't seen in Mario in a long time until this game. Well, not fully open world, but like a fully opened. You guys know what I mean.
Yeah,
Greg,
I think that's
thoughts?
more important though. Your first time experience on the Switch with something like Super Mario Odyssey. I think that has a lot more weight to it than like looking back on it and like, maybe changing your your score for it. But, first I would say, first impression versus replayability is more important in this case because it is kind of the game that you would just play once, complete it, and never look at it again.
Yeah.
I seldom replay anything, like even if I love it, so I really don't factor replayability into like what I think of a game because no matter how much I love it, I'm probably not going to touch it again.
I love replaying things. There are some games that I love that I'll probably never replay, but there are some games that I love a lot and I will replay them. like Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6. No,
Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 again.
And Resident Evil 4.
But yeah, no,
But yeah.
I totally think Odyssey's a masterpiece. I think it's absolutely incredible, and I think it's insane that Nintendo did a 1-2 punch of Zelda and Odyssey.
Oh my god. Talk
It's
about the best
unbelievable.
launch year of all
Yeah, it
time.
was such a good. It was so good.
It just like defies imagination that a company could make two games that good back to back, and like they made them simultaneously. How?
I remember third-party developers thinking there's no point in putting our games on Switch, and then somehow it was probably the 1-2 punch you're talking about. Like the Switch just exploded, and don't say you saw it coming because the internet at that time was Nintendo needs to just go third party. The Wii U's terrible. They should just stick to handhelds. But then the Switch came out and it exploded, and it was kind of funny because like those early years when there really wasn't much on Switch, like I was grasping for anything to play, and I was just playing games just because they were on the hardware and not because they were good. So I was just playing some weird ass games like that Caterpillar game where you like can connect to stuff. I don't even remember what it was called, but
I don't know.
it's on the tip of my tongue. But it was fairly decent. But there was just a bunch of games
Was
that
it
were
a
like
Snake?
mostly indie. Snake Pass? Is that what it was?
Snake Pass?
No, maybe not. Snake. I don't know.
I think
but you know what
you're
I'm
forgetting
talking about.
one other game though that really kicked off the sales of the Nintendo Switch and really catapulted it into, the big moneymaker. And we all know that's 1-2 Switch. I mean,
Yep.
Thought you were
I
gonna
knew
say-
that
I mean, if it
coming.
weren't for
Yeah.
that phenomenon,
Either that or ARMS.
yeah, Arms.
oh,
I reviewed that one too.
Arms. What the hell were you?
I can't believe I gave it
Wow.
a 7.5. It was totally a
You just-
6.
A 6?
It was a 6. It was okay. I gave it a 7.5 because one night my friend came over and we actually had like a lot of fun with it. And then once it was like the day after that where I was like, all right, I'm sitting down to write this, and that was really awesome stuff I did with him. And then when I really sat back and thought about it, I'm like, the game has 2 attacks, just 2 attacks. Like, how is this a game? Left and right punch, that's basically 1 attack, and then throw. How do you build a whole game out of that? It was terrible. No, it wasn't terrible, but it was just okay. But yeah, 1-2 Switch, a phenomenon.
Which one do you think is better?
Change
1-2
the game.
Switch or ARMS?
I never played 1-2 Switch. It looked like a waste of money.
It's fun. I think I got
Is
it
it?
for free though with my Switch. I think I got a bundle, and I think that's one of the ones that came with it. So not free, but like package deal sort of thing. But yeah, it was fun.
My dad's calling me. Should I put him on the show?
Ooh, this could get dicey.
Hello?
Brett,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I'm recording a show right now, so I gotta call you back. I'm recording a show right now, so I gotta call you back.
Just talk to you tomorrow or something.
Alright, sounds good. Bye. Could you guys even hear him at all?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we can hear.
Right.
Okay.
A fun intonation. What are you doing?
What are you doing? His voice is so weird, you have no idea.
Want to drink some Fireball?
Yeah. He'd be like, want some bologna? He's a
I did
weird
drink
guy.
Fireball with Brett's dad.
Yeah, he
True
did.
story.
Dude, Greg, that Fireball was actually great, and then I got COVID, and now my taste buds changed, and now I can't drink Fireball anymore because it tastes like acid. But anyway, on to the next game. We got Pokemon Sword and Shield at 24 million. We already talked about that one. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 26 million. Yeah, that game doesn't matter. We got Super Smash. No, I'm just kidding. Breath of the Wild, amazing game. I played it earlier, just like a few weeks ago, and I beat it for the second time. And what an experience! Way better the second time when I played it all in one, like basically one session, like over the span of a week or so. Any thoughts from you guys on Breath of the Wild before we skip it?
I love it.
Masterpiece. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, beautiful, amazing. It's a supermodel
Yeah.
of the world. I don't know what to say.
Yes,
what else to say about it?
exactly.
Like it's, and I know a
Like,
lot of Zelda fans like don't like it because it broke the Zelda mold, but sometimes that's a good thing, you know.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Yeah, I was very much against it when it first came out. I was like,
Yeah, you
"Where's
were
the
a
hook
purist.
shot? Where's Epona? Like, come on, where's the temples? This is stupid." And then I started to like it more and more over time. It was weird because I didn't play it at all like since I beat it, but the more I thought about the elements that I liked, they really stood out to me like in my head, like, that was pretty awesome. Like, the whole like 100 years later, that's a pretty cool concept for Zelda. They haven't really done a lot of cool story stuff, in my opinion. And that was like one of the few things that's really cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really special game. And I actually like the
Yeah.
weapon breaking.
Yeah, I had it was one of the few games that I felt like everybody was playing, and I was like, finally had a game where I was enjoying it and everybody else around me was experiencing, the game for themselves too, and doing, completely different things. And then my ex at the time, um, her son was, I think, 9 or 10 when the Switch came out, and like we were playing Breath of the Wild together, and it was just like, I don't know, it was kind of like a weird thing where I was seeing myself as a kid, like, discover all these things, find something new, reach the Master Sword, defeat Calamity Ganon, and I just thought that was like such a unique experience. And I think, Breath of the Wild, for more reasons than just gameplay, is kind of going to always have a special spot in my heart.
I have this ridiculous image in my head of like Greg kneeling down next to this child and like holding the back of his head, and he's like, "Show me what you see, child."
Let me live for you.
Rest your weathered eyes and use your vocals to express your opinions.
Exactly.
yeah, I was gonna say something kind of the same thing that like it's a lot of people's first Zelda, like even adults, it's like their first Zelda. But like my younger cousin, he's 11 now. So he was younger when Breath of the Wild came out, obviously, but it was his first Zelda, and now he's like, I need more. And then he found out there's more Zelda games, and he's like, I need all of them. And like he's actually called me and texted me and been like, do you remember this part of this game? And like I gave him like the Hyrule Historia and like the books, the
Nice.
encyclopedia. My aunt sent me a picture of him like reading the encyclopedia. Like he is just all in a Zelda fan now. And
I
it's
freaking
so
love
great.
that.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm surprised that he didn't like play like an older game and be like, "Oh, this is nothing like Breath of the Wild. I don't like this. This is terrible."
Right.
But yeah, I've heard on a lot of podcasts about kids and adults like getting into the series because of this game, and that's really special because it is obviously a special series, and the games are so different. And some games speak to a lot of people, and some games don't. But there's probably at least one in this franchise that speaks to everybody. So yeah.
Could be. Well, then the
If you
moral
don't
thing
like
to do
any
is to
Zelda
start-
game, are you even human?
Probably a bot.
I think the
Yeah.
moral thing to do though is to just start heavily gatekeeping and telling all the young people they're not good enough to play this.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
about right. Let's
You're not
let's do that.
Not a true fan until you play the CDI games.
There you
Oh
go.
my god.
There was me and Mary made a video about Ocarina of Time. It was just like relive this moment, and we played this song from the game. And there was this person who commented, and they were like, "I'm 13, but this is still nostalgic for me." I'm like, "What? You're
What?
13 and this is nostalgic for you?" Like, how old? Like, I don't know. First off, how do you even know what nostalgic means? You're 13. You should just be playing
Excellent
with cars or something.
vocabulary, my guy.
Getting him
Yeah.
wistful for the days of 11.
Yeah. I remember the long time ago when I was 10. That's hilarious. Yeah, I was like 13. Like, so you played the game, and so like, how old were you in 2015? Like 5, and you're like nostalgic for Ocarina of Time.
Takes me back.
Takes me back to the
I
good
mean,
old days before
you
my
know, like-
parents divorced.
Back before
Ouch.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, though, that does go to show, though. Like, I mean, you know, obviously, like, well, a lot of people have siblings. Everybody at one point or another has parents. Like, I mean, it is totally possible that a kid will just like have access to like either like his older sibling or parents' like huge game collection. Like,
Yeah.
maybe someone who's 13 today like was playing like Super Nintendo when they were like 5, you know? Like,
Mhm.
just kind of depends what
wish
they
my
had access
nieces-
to.
I wish my nieces
Yeah.
and nephews were like that, but instead they're on Fortnite, on the Fortnite kick. It just
Yeah, I'm so glad my
shatters my
kids
heart.
aren't Fortnite kids. Like, if I had Fortnite kids, I don't know if I'd be able to be a parent. I'm just kidding. um, but
Jeez.
yeah. So there's definitely something special about like seeing someone who's like younger, like your kid, or just like a younger kid, like experience something that you love for the first time, or even if it's something that's like brand new, like the Zelda series, like how Mary said, like there's something like it makes you feel closer to being a child if you're experiencing it like through their joy, you know. That's
And
how I
guess
feel
that's
with my kids a
I
lot.
guess that's the like one positive to come out of Switch Online is like, you know, these games are finally the back catalog of Zelda games are available to, you know, these younger generations because, you know, outside of that, other than emulation, you know, where are you really going to play them? And you know, as retro collecting has gone the past couple of years, like even the common games are hard to find and overpriced. And so, you know, I appreciate the fact that Nintendo has added some of these back catalog games because otherwise they're really hard to find.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you just download them, which I've been told on every single video I've ever made about Nintendo Switch Online, you can just emulate it. I know. Everybody knows you can emulate. Stop telling everyone. Like, it's an obvious thing. No matter what content it is, if I mention anything about Nintendo Switch Online, if you want the game, just go emulate it. I know. Oh, anyway, let's just move on. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the best fighting game of all time.
That's
Did you know you
number
could just
3.
emulate it?
Yeah, number 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 28.17 million units. I absolutely love this game. I still play it pretty much every single week. Online matches, 1v1, no items, and it's just the best. It's my favorite fighting game ever. It's the only fighting franchise that I even like. So yeah,
Dang.
what are your guys' thoughts on Super Smash Bros.? John?
Like, I definitely love it for what it is. I hardly ever touch it. Like, when it came out, I played like the whole story in a few days. So like I kind of put like an instant like 25, 30 hours into it. And then ever since, my ritual is like buy all the DLC characters sight unseen, download them as they come out, play as them for 10
Never play
minutes,
the game.
and then wait for then wait for the next DLC character. So, but the reason I do that though is that like I used to play Melee and then even Brawl to an extent with my friends like a ton. So like when like the Wii U and 3DS versions came out, I kept buying. That was the first time they introduced DLC characters, I think, and I bought them all for both versions for the rare times that my friends were still around, and then we could all just play like the Wii U one with all the characters unlocked in my system. And so now with the Switch version, like I just kind of like inherently love the franchise, even though I'm not actually playing it much. So like I have no problem just buying all these characters because like at this point it's really just a celebration of video games in general.
Mhm.
Mhm. For sure. Yeah. Mary or Greg, any thoughts on Smash Brothers as a
Yeah.
franchise or this title?
I'm not really a Smash Brothers fan. It's just not my style of game. Like, I'll play it whenever like friends, you know, have it and like we're just in a group. But like, I found myself getting hyped for these trailers. Like, I'm watching this Kingdom Hearts reveal right now, and I was like, I just remember, like, I love the excitement around the DLC reveal characters, and, like, the trailers were so good. So I
Mhm.
think it was just Nintendo really kind of stepping up their game, and creating, like, excitement through that. And plus we finally got
Yeah.
Sora in Smash.
The last Smash
Yeah.
character. It was really cool. Like basically since Smash Wii U started, it was pretty much consistent. New characters were being revealed like all the time because Smash for Switch like got revealed way earlier than everyone expected because like the last DLC character wasn't that long ago for the Wii U Smash. So it's pretty much been like a consistent thing, and it's been so fun to like have these amazing like CG reveals and then actually genuinely be excited to try out the character because like I said, I play Smash Online, and like just like being able to test out a new character, it can just be so fun because then you're like, oh shit,
frames
this
per
is
second.
yeah. Because like this is like there's Smash characters, for example, like the DLC ones multiple times ended up becoming like my mains that I would use online a lot. So I used Byleth all the way up until Pyro and Mithra came out. And now Pyro and Mithra are still my number ones. They're amazing.
Well, I'm just glad you're still playing though, because one day you'll probably be good enough to beat me, Brett. I know that hasn't happened
Greg,
yet.
you still
I know
have
you have a lot of
never beat
practice.
me.
I am
Greg, I'll
untouchable
be
as
honest.
Mega Man, and I know that.
I'll be honest. There were a few times I legitimately let you kill me just so it would be closer.
No, you did not.
I swear to God. I was like, I'm just gonna give him this one. I'm just gonna
You're
like
a body.
fake it.
You're a body
Fake
of
it.
lies. But I will say though that Smash, I feel like that. You know, looking at it just from the perspective of how Nintendo managed to gain and nurture and obtain these characters from all these different platforms and genres and games, and really reaching across the aisle to bring those characters from other consoles to the game to add in for DLC characters. Like I think that should by itself stand as an achievement for the game as a whole. I haven't played it in a really long time, but that finally I like. Well, I remembered that like I played it a shit ton on the 3DS, and I didn't remember that until John said it, because that was my first exposure to Mega Man, and like I was about the same way. I never really played the 64 version, but Brawl and
Greg
Melee
never heard of Mega Man until Smash for 3DS came out.
This is true. This is true. Yeah.
Just missed it.
And then, but once I picked him up, and Brett could just not beat me, which is the craziest thing. I never even played the game. I didn't even know how he moved. I was like, "What is his cannon blaster or something that he has on his hand?"
He has way too much range. That's my one gripe.
No,
about.
it's so short, man.
Well, are you kidding me? His smash moves
doesn't even reach across.
It does reach across the screen. It's the
no,
exact
it does
opposite.
not. You can stand on the other side of the ledge and not even get hit.
Mega Man's my favorite video game character, but actually I don't really like playing as him in Smash for some reason. I don't like his moveset. Yeah. I've always played as Ness and then Lucas, because Lucas is like Ness.
Ooh, that's so funny. That's my second main.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't like their up Bs. It's just too unpredictable. Sometimes too hard to get that up
pretty
B
good
in
at
there.
using that.
Yeah.
Yeah, one day you'll get good, right? That's okay.
Greg, just 1v1 me on the stream right now. I'm sure Eric can hook it up somehow.
Let's go. Hold on.
Next week, let's have it ready. Just one round, me and you.
My internet's actually going to be off next week. I'm sorry.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
I guess you'll be missing the show. All right, let's get into number 2, which is 38.64 million Animal Crossing New Horizons. This one was legitimately a phenomenon, not like 1-2 Switch. This one took over the world right whenever the world was being taken over by a deadly virus, and it was like the one positive thing in a lot of people's life for a hot minute. So shout out to Animal Crossing, right?
Nintendo really lucked out with all that human suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like,
Definitely.
the circumstances of its launch are not what we thought they would be, but like it ended up being, this kind of saving grace. Like you could go you couldn't visit your friends in person, but you could go to their Animal Crossing island. You would hop in a Discord call with them and chat while you just hang out in Animal Crossing, and it kind of became that portal of like some sort of human interaction, if you will. So
Okay, I just want to clarify something to the chat. Greg was
Wait,
kidding when he
wait.
said he didn't know what Mega Man
Come on,
was.
I was gonna let that hear the joke.
They actually think he didn't know who Mega Man was. He's like 38.
I was like, I thought his name was Bruce or something.
Bruce
Mega
Man.
Bruce.
Yeah, so I couldn't believe that they actually thought we were serious. No, we were kidding. We were just kidding.
Ooh, I actually finally found my other copy of Mega Man 1. I have Mega Man 1 through 6 on NES.
Nice.
Did
you know that you could just emulate it? So yeah, Animal Crossing was really awesome. I spent like 70 hours with it, and that's probably good for me. I bought the expansion, and I haven't even tried that out yet. Yeah, 70 is not a lot for Animal Crossing, but it is for me with a game that you can't necessarily beat. But I did add it to my beat games because it does actually have a credits at one point.
Oh,
So
okay.
What is Mega Man?
exactly.
What even is Mega Man?
Very nice. There we
Greg,
go.
you don't have to prove it, Greg. We know you never heard of
No,
him.
he did have to prove it.
Mega Bruce.
Bruce Man.
Now,
So
do you have Mega Man
J-
7? Do you have Mega Man 7 on the Super Nintendo?
Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's okay. Do you have 8 on PS1?
Maybe?
You know what, I'm gonna see what
We'll
Mega
find out.
Man games I have. 1 second.
I have like so what was it? The weekend that Mary went to PAX, she was like, "Oh yeah," which I still want to send that over. She was like, "Oh, I was gonna go back and get this
yeah.
Zelda booklet, the manual," and I'm like, "Wait, I think I have that." Dig out. I
Yeah.
have these I have another one somewhere, but like I have these I've got them with like all my random pickups and stuff, and some of them are just like common games, but other ones like I have a couple copies of the Legend of Zelda manual in here.
Yeah, the one I saw
Nice.
at PAX was, I mean, it was like absolute gorgeous, pristine condition, but it was sold as a set with the game, obviously, like graded everything. And like I even
Wow.
asked the guy at the booth, I was like, you wouldn't sell just that booklet to me separately, would you? He's like, no, it's a full set. I was like, I don't have that kind of money to spend. Plus, like, I'm someone who I can't do sealed boxes. I have to play them. I have to look through booklets.
Ooh.
Like, I'm not a sealed box person.
Yeah.
So
I don't
so
have any
nice.
Mega Man games, but I do have the best multiplayer game of all time. Ice hockey.
Ice hockey.
nice.
It's
All
so
right, then.
good.
Take your word for it.
You never played ice hockey?
No.
Oh my god, John. We gotta play it together on Switch Online.
I played a WCW game on the NES. I don't remember what it was called. I just
don't
remember
even
it
remember
didn't
a
work very well,
WCW
and we'd have to like blow into the cartridge a lot.
on NES?
Yeah, I'll
You
Google
sure it
it
wasn't
quick.
N64?
Nope. Okay, it
Huh.
was called WCW Wrestling.
Oh.
The first wrestling game.
Very memorable game. It had the Road Warriors on the cover.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture it in my head. I'll look it up.
Thing is, I never even really watched WCW. My brothers followed that more. I mostly just watched WWF.
Yeah, that was always the best one. It felt like the real one. But WCW versus NWO on N64 was really good. All the N64 wrestling games were like the best.
Yeah.
Jesus, like the best wrestling game. Sorry about my dogs barking. Guys, talk about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe being #1 at 45.33 million while I mute my mic.
I've never heard of that game.
I don't know it
Oh,
either.
it's #1. Excellent.
Greg, have you ever heard of this game, Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Does it feature Mega Bruce?
Yeah, actually,
I
that's
think
the
so,
main
yeah.
character.
It's some like weird indie game. I don't know.
Maybe it'll get popular. Maybe the kids will be nostalgic about it in a couple years or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the 13-year-olds. I
when
mean,
they're 11.
I mean, it was like a Wii U game back in like when? Like, was it like
Yeah, when was
2015,
it?
2014? Like,
It was a
Yeah.
long time ago. So let's see.
So-
Someone who was, let's see, if it's like the trailer was in 2013. So
okay, so the game came out in 2014.
yeah, so that means someone could be like 18 years old right now and be like, man, I'm nostalgic. I was 10 years old when I played that.
God, that just
Mario
messes
Kart
with my
8.
head so
Oh,
much.
man.
A
God.
someone who's driving a car on the street right now played Mario Kart 8 when they were 8 years old. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they could be 15 driving, so like 7 years old.
Youth.
We'll just turn this into a podcast where we do like weird calculations of why you should feel old.
Exactly. That's my
Well,
favorite
to
thing
be
to
fair,
do.
everything makes me feel old.
Right?
Yeah.
But
So yeah, Mario
no,
Kart
yeah.
8, the highest selling Switch game.
yeah, and like that 45 million, like that's just it's hard to wrap your head around that many sales. Like for
Yeah,
any one
wild.
thing, you know? Like
That's
not
like
even just like a video game, just like if you've sold 45 million of anything, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking up the top selling PlayStation exclusive. So like typically Sony published games.
Yeah.
The only one that is not like double, like Mario Kart 8 has sold double than like every single Sony published game except like Spider-Man and like maybe one other one.
Okay.
Double. It has sold more than all of them by a long shot.
Yeah.
But it has sold more than double of what most of the games are. So
Man,
it's just wild.
if they'd made that Uncharted kart racing game, maybe they could have made some real money, but
Exactly. They're like, nah, there's no money in kart racers. That's what they said. Now I want an Uncharted kart racer with like all of the real life-size humans and like tiny go-karts.
yeah, at first I'd actually meant to say Last of Us kart racing. Like you'd have like Joel like shooting like out
Oh
at
my
like the other
gosh.
cars.
You could have Abby, she throws golf clubs at people.
There is that fan doing the Bloodborne kart racing game right now. You see that?
No, I didn't.
Mm-mm.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, there's some fan like it's the person that made a PS1 demake of Bloodborne. And now
Oh,
they're
wait,
I
yeah.
trust him.
yeah, now they're making a kart racing version. I think it's just called like Bloodborne Kart or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
so-
funny.
I don't
Bloodborne,
I don't care about Bloodborne, but it's a funny idea. Yeah.
it's crazy how
There it is.
like Bloodborne's audience is still so passionate and loud. You would think that by now Sony or someone would have like patched the game to look better on modern hardware or something, but it's still like 720p, 30 frames per second, and it just bothers fans all the time.
Yeah.
It looks
well,
kind of fun. Just looks
Yeah, it looks
like
pretty good.
twisted metal.
yeah, I bet it would be one of the influences since
It
it's like
legitimately
PS1
looks
in the first place.
looks like a real PS1 game.
yeah,
Yeah.
person's doing a good job with it.
I wish a lot of like I've seen like so many demakes over the years and like, whether it's like a Game Boy version or something, but I wish companies would actually embrace these and publish them because they look like they'd be a kick-ass time and they don't interrupt the canon of the main game. They're just stupid, fun to be had and like telling me those wouldn't sell.
Exactly. They probably would. Especially something as silly as a Bloodborne kart. I feel like it's just weird enough that like the fan base would latch onto it and buy it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, now let's talk about what we're playing. John, Yakuza 5 or 4. How's it going?
You
Okay,
betcha.
but you missed one
Yeah.
really important sales number.
Oh, which one?
Ooh.
Metroid Dread selling
Oh,
almost
yeah.
3 million copies.
Almost 3 million.
It is
Just
now the
under.
highest selling Metroid game.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
really awesome.
Didn't make that top
yeah.
10 list, but it's still really great for the series. So
I'm
By
I'm
what was
sad
what was
that
the second closest?
studios gone
The
now.
second closest for Metroid?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Metroid
Metroid
Prime.
Prime, yeah.
Ah,
I
good
don't
for you.
remember the number.
You mean it
But
wasn't
John,
other M? It wasn't other M?
oh yeah, I wanted to talk about other M as well. All right, before that though, John, who bought the studio that developed Metroid Dread, and why can't they make another game now? Because they're owned by, you know who it is? Who is it? I
So
don't remember.
Mercury Steam is the
Yeah,
developer
Hmm.
of Dread, and I don't think
they
they
were
were
purchased
bought by
by
anybody, were
someone.
they?
Yeah, I thought they were.
I think
Or they have like a 3 game
they're
exclusivity
they're
deal.
like they're like making a game with somebody, but I don't think they were actually bought.
I could have sworn it was something like that.
Uh,
Maybe not though.
Oh, it was Nordisk
Oh yeah,
Games in
Nordis.
Copenhagen, Denmark, had invested in Mercury Steam and acquired 40% of the company.
whatever.
So not a
But
Oh
control
I
well.
arm, but
they're
still.
making a game with 505. That's what's
Yeah.
known. I guess it's being called Project Iron.
Hmm. All right, now back to Metroid Other M. Reggie Fils-Aimé has said that he thought it would be a big turning point for the series, and I listened to his interview, and he was basically saying that like I assume that like maybe he wasn't fully kept up to speed on how long it takes to actually get into the meat and bones of the game, because in hindsight he was like the game takes way too long to get going. There's way too much story, super slow start, and he thinks that's why people didn't jive with the game or so. That's basically what he was saying. So yeah, I played this game either this year or last year. I beat the entire game, totally random, but I played through it. And I thought it had some really great elements, and there are some moments like for a good 2 hours in this like 15-hour game. I don't remember how long it was. It actually felt like classic Metroid. Like there's like Metroidvania elements that are like actually in the game. And you would think that would have been the whole game, but it was more so just like an action game. But I actually enjoyed it. I think it's a little underrated. I think people hate on it a little too much because
Mhm.
I had some decent fun with it. But I know Mary has thoughts. What are you thinking?
I also played it for the first time, like, not within the past, like, 2 years or so, and everyone was telling me how bad it was gonna be, so I went into it, really low expectations, and I was like, "Guys, this isn't bad." Like, okay, the control scheme, I will say, has not
Weird.
aged well, was maybe not the best way to go at the time anyway, but it was a good game. It's possibly, dare I say, please no one hate me, one of my favorite Metroids. Maybe I just like the story elements of
Boo!
it.
I
Boo this
actually did like the
man!
story stuff
One
too.
of my
I knew understood
favorites.
what was going on.
So, I really liked it though.
Typically, whenever something is like hated on the internet, I really try and go into it with an open mind, like more open than usual. Like, can I find the good in this that people aren't seeing? Because maybe everyone else is an idiot and I'm smart. No, I'm just kidding. So I went into it expecting, like, I was fully trying to understand what was going on in the story. I was like following it bit by bit, like, okay, this is happening. And then at some point, it just totally lost me. I'm like, I have no idea what is happening in this story. It's totally weird, and I'm just gonna ignore it for the rest of the game. But it was still a good time, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been a
I
hot minute. I think I got it when it first came out and haven't touched it since.
Oh, you didn't even beat it?
No, I beat it, but it was like
Okay.
I feel like I'd probably benefit from doing what you guys did and playing it, as of
Now,
late, so I can look at it, yeah, with some fresh eyes. But
I would
I
say
liked it
play
from
it
what I
on
remember.
Nintendo Switch, but you can only play it on the better hardware, the Nintendo Wii U. No, I'm just kidding. Well, that actually is true, but that's how I played it. Was on Wii U, the digital version.
I honestly like I barely remember the game anymore, but I do remember enjoying it. I didn't actually have any problem with it. Although I remember how like I remember the game was like much easier to 100% than like a normal Metroid. Like it like made it easier to keep track of like where things
Yeah.
were and whatnot. So like once I beat it, I was kind of like, hey, I 100%ed a Metroid. That's weird. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
something I really celebrated. It was like kind of like like
You're
Aw,
ashamed of.
Yeah, being able
yeah.
to
my
track
father would be so
those things
ashamed.
is really nice, like, I was very
Yeah.
thankful for that because I also 100% it.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
it was
Nice.
the one time it was easy to do.
I didn't 100% it. And that probably made a lot of the harder bosses a lot more challenging because I was dying quite a bit in some. It was starting to get a little frustrating. Maybe I sucked at the game. Maybe it's a hard game. I'm honestly not even sure. But let's move on to what we're playing, you guys. It's time. We've probably got about 10 more minutes left in the show, 10, 15 or so. So, Mary, what are you playing?
I've beaten Tunic, so I beat it this
nice.
weekend. So I did have to look up a few things, though. I will admit
You
that.
didn't beat it. You suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I know it pains me to look things up,
Fake
but like
gamer.
some of those. Oh my gosh, y'all! Some of those puzzles get so complex, though, and like
Mm,
it makes you have to look at things in the game in such a unique and different way. Like I haven't had to think about puzzles in this way in a long time. And that's why I had to like look a couple things up. I was like, am I looking at this the right way? Should I be looking at this a different way? And like I needed confirmation pretty much of like, am I going down the right path or am I completely off sort of thing. But it was really good. Like I probably want to go back and see if I can also 100% it at some point. But now I have more time to invest in Astral Chain, which I've made some
Yes.
more progress on, and I love the combat so much. It's so fun.
Yeah, I love that game. 10 out of 10, in my opinion.
Yep.
I can't wait for you to just. I'm not. How far are you? Like, how many hours?
I don't know how many hours. I just got the Doggo Legion.
Was that the second one?
That's like the third, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
Okay, so you're
have
pretty far.
you have the bow and arrow, I have the arm Legion, and now I have the Doggo. So,
Nice.
but it's really fun.
Super underrated game. I highly recommend everyone
Yeah.
play it. It's awesome.
I didn't get very far at all because like the first like major boss fight, like it was just so hard that I just quit. And like usually like I don't like usually hit difficulty walls that like I'm not willing to stick with, but in this game I was just like, well fuck this. Like and I just gave up. Like
Honestly, I don't remember it being very hard, and I'm not that good at games. Maybe you were just missing something.
possibly. Like I don't like I remember it being like a really long fight and like the phases just kept going. And it's like, all right, I don't feel like doing this anymore.
Was it the one running on the walls? That one?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when my friend Brett played that one game and he kept dying in one hit and just kind of gave up for a while.
Yeah, I stopped for like 2 months. That game was Horizon Forbidden West, and I must have been missing something in that game because the first one wasn't even hard, and I just kept dying in one hit. I didn't understand what was happening, and it ruined the game. But I did beat it finally. But I'm not going to talk about it again because we pretty much exhausted all possible conversations with that game. John, what are you playing, and what do you think about it?
I'm playing Yakuza 5, and it's
Nice.
freaking
Yeah.
great. So I recently finished 4, and I thought that one was like way, way better than I'd heard. 4 is like my third favorite now, and 5, 5 really feels like a shift. Like all of the games have like, well, they all have like good stories that are also absurd, and this one's more of that. But I feel like 5 is like all of a sudden like the cinematic scenes are feeling like even more cinematic, and it's hard to like explain without just like experiencing it yourself. But like the story feels like particularly good this time. And I heard this one
Mm.
was really good in the first place. Like I loved 4 and apparently people didn't like 4 and people like love 5. So like maybe 5 will be that much better still. I don't know. I'm only in like the second part of the game and there's like 5 or 6 parts to this game. It's supposed to be like the biggest game in the series. But like it's got mysteries and stuff and like new areas, like everything you want in a good sequel is in Yakuza 5 so far. So I'm really enjoying that. Um and I beat Fantasy Star 1. That
Yeah,
old
I
game
remember you
I
started.
mentioned
The button
a coup
masher?
yeah, press A to win, baby. And I used a guide to get through the
Press A
maze
to
dungeons
win.
faster cuz like yeah. So I beat that and I'm about to start playing this Square game that I forgot existed and I haven't followed at all, but they gave me a review code, so I'm gonna play it. I think it's called the Centennial Case. Have any of
Huh,
you seen that
I haven't even
thing?
seen anything about it.
I don't
No.
know.
I
I don't think
like I
so.
I could be getting this completely wrong, but I think it's like literally like an interactive movie sort of deal. Cause like there's like they made a big deal out of having like these Japanese actors and everything. And but it's like also I think like a mystery of some kind, and like there's actual gameplay like involved in like solving this mystery. And like I think that'll like progress the live action parts. I'm not sure yet. I haven't actually started it yet, but that's next on my list.
Nice.
That looks really different.
Yeah, I finally started Danganronpa 2. And Eric, no, he wasn't talking about 13 Sentinels. That's what he's playing on the screen right now.
Oh no, I was looking at the
Yeah.
Centennial Case.
Oh, those
Okay.
13 Sentinels is awesome. Could
Yeah,
play
that's
that
that's
too.
one I need to play as well. But there was someone on a podcast who was just like talking up Danganronpa 2 and 3. So I just want to get through these games because I hear that they're like amazing, and I loved the first one. It was great, and then I heard like the last like 3 hours of the second one is some of like the best storytelling in video games. So I just want to play this one now, and it's really interesting so far. They have like added like different elements. Like there's sort of like this like side-scrolling element where like you go to different portions of this island. That's another thing. You're not in a school anymore. You're like on an island, which definitely doesn't feel as claustrophobic. And this is gonna sound weird, but like at the school in the first game, it was sort of like a comfy feeling being just in this place for so long that like every time I played the game, it almost felt like it was like this nostalgia that was happening. Like it's like, okay, back here in my lunchroom, and I'm gonna go over here to the gym, and it's just like,
Feeling nostalgia for that game you played a year ago.
yeah, exactly. It was like a nostalgia happening as I was playing it. I don't know, it was weird. Maybe nostalgia is not the right word, but it was just very
Orgasmic.
yeah, orgasmic is the word I was looking for. But
I knew it.
so the second one, you're on an island this time, and I heard the third one goes back to a school, so that'll be interesting. But so far, this one just has a totally different vibe. As of right now, there's a different crazy teddy bear right there on the screen, and the characters all like being introduced. I won't spoil anything because I think people should play these games. The first one was amazing, and now this one's really interesting. And I'm still really early, so I don't have much to say about it except that I'm in a different spot. There is a character from the first game in this one, so that's really interesting. I'm not even sure if this takes place before or after that game, because as of right now, the character hasn't said anything about the other game. But yeah, so it's all very intriguing, and I can't wait for shit to start hitting the fan. Because as of right now in the story, they're saying you're just supposed to live up your fantasy on this island. They've said nothing about murdering anyone or anything like that. So I'm sure that there's some type of twist on the way. But yeah,
I hope that there
and
not a twist. I hope the whole game is just everyone's happy. People just
yeah,
chill, then the credits roll.
It's just Animal Crossing, no big deal.
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be awesome. I mean, that would be very like surprising.
That's what the best games do.
Yeah. So I'm excited to keep playing this. I've had it. I'm playing it on my Vita and my PS TV. Yes, someone still uses that in 2022. And I have the the game downloaded on both, so I can just easily throw in my cloud saves wherever I go. Like if I'm done playing on Vita, I just gotta upload it, and then I download it on PlayStation TV. So it's really convenient to do that. And Eric just posted in the comments, Danganronpa 3 is better than the first one, the spinoff, and the second one. Oh no, he's saying the opposite. He's saying Danganronpa 2 is the. Oh, he's saying the
He's saying
timeline.
that's
Never
the
mind.
timeline.
Don't spoil.
Okay.
I don't even want to see it. I didn't even read it.
Yeah.
Eric, I don't want to see that.
Oh, you
Delete
spoiled
that.
it. Oh.
Eric ruined everything for Brett.
Game
Eric, why
over.
would you do that? Like I'm trying. I've been purposely avoiding
no.
spoilers, and you just post the timeline in the chat. You son of a gun. Now I'm just gonna post a bunch of stuff in the chat so it disappears.
This is great.
So
Yeah.
I all I read was Danganronpa 3 is a prequel, so I didn't see any of the other ones. So that's or if I did see them, I don't remember what I said or anything. So anyway, Eric spoiling the game. Thanks a lot. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Greg, what are you playing?
So I was like on my deathbed last week, so I didn't really get to play much. But I did the week before, which I need to go back to. I kind of started. It's on Game Pass. Dreamscaper. It's like a roguelike, kind of like
Like an action RPG.
action RPG, and but the concept's really weird, and I kind of dig it too. It's like a more so like I haven't gotten very far in it, but you're like one of the first battles you fight. Like there's like your regular attacks, and then your range attack, and then you can pick up certain power ups and level up certain things, and then there's a dodge roll. But like one of the first battles you get to, you fight fear, and you start to see how the game's like kind of shaping. Like these are almost like mental battles of overcoming certain things that you're facing. And so one of the first boss battles you face is fear. And then the way you get into the realm that you're in, you fall asleep on your bed while there's boxes all over the room. And like I don't want to tell like the whole part of it, but then you drop into this like dream place, and then you start to face these enemies and stuff. So I thought it was really interesting. um I didn't really care too much for the character uh designs, but I see how it fits like the overall aesthetic to the game, and I kind of appreciate it for that. They're like these almost I don't know what you call them, like the paper mache dolls that don't have a face, but you more so get like kind of like the outline of like the body and everything like that. So I really kind of dig the art style. The first boss, it did take me a couple tries to realize like, oh, these are just it has a pattern, and you can get through these with the dodge roll to dodge some of the like his secondary attacks and things like that. I played some other stuff too. I was on a good kick for a while. um but I'm trying to remember what I played this last week. I know for a fact though that I did play some Rocket League and Apex Legends, you son of a guns.
Oh.
And I've been having a good time still, learning a lot of new things. We're just progressing. We're about to, I think the season ends in like a couple days, so we'll probably get some rank changes, some match and map changes. So I'm looking forward to that. And a new legend just got announced not too long ago. So, you.
Nice. That game looks pretty cool. I might have to. Is it on console or just PC?
It's on Switch.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Actually, I
'Cause I
vaguely
remember I
remember
used
they
to write up
might have
that
sent me a
game.
review code.
Yeah, I can't remember if I downloaded it on my Series S and my PC, but I played it starting out at least on my PC. I downloaded a
Oh,
couple Game Pass games to check them out.
yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. We talked about a lot. It's been a great episode. If you made it this far, thanks so much for hanging out with us. And if you're listening to the audio version, please, whatever platform you're on, please leave us a 5-star review. That would be awesome. We got to hit that algorithm, get a bit more popular. But thanks everyone who always tunes in. Like, I'll upload the audio version and it immediately gets like 30 listens. So there are people out there that are excited to listen. So that's cool. But yeah, if you want to be a part of the show, once again, leave a comment in the comment section down below. And Greg, if people want to find you, where can they go?
You can find me on all my social media platforms: Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Everything is at dynamite_giraffe, as well as over on PC Invasion. My bylines are over there. Been pretty spotty lately, but most of the time I pick up news a couple times a week. And as well, oh no, I'll save that for next time.
Oh God, you're just gonna tease us like that?
Yes.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
OnlyFans.
something, but I was like, but Brett, man, come on.
I'm
Don't
sorry.
spill the beans.
We've been working on this for our OnlyFans for a long time. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I know you
what
see
were
the
you gonna say?
gallery of feet pics I have.
Well, Greg, was that it?
No,
You done?
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That's me. That's it. I'm done.
Mary, if people want to find you, where can they go?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter, Mary Wants Cookie, and you can also find me over on the Destructoid show. We've been uploading some pretty fun stuff to TikTok and of course the Snapchat show. But the TikTok has a few extras that are pretty
Yeah,
fun.
TikTok, you don't want to miss it. I'll be honest, it's probably the best TikTok ever. No, I'm just kidding, but
Hey, I'll
is
second that. It's pretty
I
maybe
just
some of
uploaded
the
one
best-
recently and I was really proud of it. So
yeah, your skit type one.
yeah.
No, that was a good one for sure. But yeah, so definitely go check out that show, and I'll just add me onto that before John. You can find me right here every single Tuesday night, 6 p.m. for Spot Dodge. But
Add
yeah,
to
definitely go
cart.
check out
Wait, what?
Destructoid on TikTok. John, what about you? Where can they go?
You okay, Brett?
I'm dying. I'm trying to last to the last minute of this show.
You're being a real
she
trooper,
said.
man. Well, gosh, I don't know. I'm gonna be so busy being nostalgic for this episode that I don't know if I'll be
Exactly.
anywhere else this week. But if I am, you can find me on Twitter at my name at John Frisha, and also I am making an indie game called Boss Saga, so you can find that at God. I don't even remember what my stuff is anymore. It's
He's
boss-saga.com.
tired.
Yeah, it's like whatever. It's out there if you want it. Or it's Boss Saga Game Twitter, I think. Something like that. I don't know. Eric's taking care of it for me. It's on the screen there. There
All
it
right,
is.
sounds. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out. Once again, thank you everyone for listening or watching. We will talk to you
guys.
guys. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.